Welcome to Grace Notes, the weekly community affairs show with Town of Yorktown Supervisor Michael Grace. I'm Bruce Apar of Chase Media Group, and Supervisor, we're in the middle of a really nice summer, isn't it? The weather's been beautiful. I mean, you're looking at me like I have two heads, but that's...
It hasn't been bad.
No, but I'm saying that the last few days, there's a lot of rain, but I'm saying in general, I was talking to people, remember maybe 2 summers ago, like every weekend rained? It was like bad, in terms of that. And this summer has been beautiful weekends.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah. No, it's been nice. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, I know.
It's been a while, right?
Yeah. We haven't done the show in a few weeks. But the reason I brought up the fact that it's the middle of summer is we always start off with calendar events, but around this time of year there isn't really much, right? In terms of events going on in Yorktown, it's sort of a respite. Between June and September.
The concert series goes on.
Of course, the Lions Club concert series at DeVito Field, which is always great, right?
But everything gets quiet, and but we're hoping to change that a little bit in Yorktown, and try to make if we're trying to give people an update, we're still moving ahead with the highway garage relocation project.
From Front Street to
Front
Greenwood.
Street, and it's to your point, hopefully it'd be one of those things when and if we do it, and if the property does get redeveloped, we'll see a nice little redevelopment of the Yorktown Heights downtown area with a connection of Patriot Park and Railroad Park and a linear park, and really create pedestrian-friendly atmosphere. We hope to get some good restaurants besides the ones that we already have. But to start to get people circulating, and then have some really nice continuing summer events within downtown. I mean, it would be the whole goal is to bring some vibrancy
so you're
back.
saying, like, unlike now, where there's no reason there can't be a lot more scheduled activities during this time of year. But we were talking about that at the office. Obviously, people say, summertime, everybody's away on vacation. Well, no, they're not all away at the same time on vacation. They go away for a week at a time. Right. So you could argue at any given time, 90% of the population is still here. Right?
Yeah, but you don't think of Yorktown as we're going to try to make Yorktown a destination spot, so that if that surrounding communities, will decide to come into Yorktown, rather than, if I want to go out, deciding to go out of Yorktown. And that's the real hope. I mean, if July and August are traditionally really dead months around here. And it really is because there isn't a focal attraction. And we're hoping.
You mean in terms of a tourist business?
Well, anything, I mean, just to say, one of the things, the redevelopment plan includes not only moving the highway garage out of there, but again connecting these two parks, which is Railroad Park, where the old railroad station is, and Patriot Park, where the old railroad turnaround is, creating a pedestrian mall, a flag mall, a plaza, and sort of a town square in front of the new building.
As you like to say, walkable.
Yeah, and one of the ideas is also creating putting up a permanent band shelter, by Patriot Park, so that you could...
band shell.
Band shell.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
Yeah, so that you can have, instead of, concerts every 2 weeks, you can have any groups come in and play there on a weekly or even a nightly basis. It's nice to see some live entertainment on a Thursday, Friday night. In town, when we do have events in town, the restaurants do fill up with the Fireman's Parade, the Christmas Parade.
I think you're just trying to rile up a few people by saying shelter. That's all you need to say
shelter,
in this town.
What is it? Band shell? Band shelter.
No, I'm just saying, you say shelter these days around you don't know what's going to happen. But we should mention, speaking of destinations, what this town could use is really good. Another good bistro destination.
That's
and
right.
Speaking of which, we want to welcome our guest, Rob Del Balzo. Everybody knows you, of course, as Nothing to It.
That's that's been my reputation for the past 5 years. So
but we want to congratulate Rob and let everybody know he is opening Destination Bistro, right?
Yes, I am.
Which this weekend, July 18th, 19th, and 20th, you're having a 3-day I don't want to say binge. People go binge viewing, but anyhow, you're having a 3-day grand opening. Right?
If that's going to get people in the doors, we'll call it a
okay,
binge.
right?
We can call it whatever you'd like, Bruce.
Right. So why don't you fill us in on what some of the activities of the grand opening?
Sure thing. Well, we're Supervisor Grace is going to be blessing us with his presence. We'll have some dignitaries there. We're going to have.
Is he a clergyman? You're going to bless the place?
Yeah. Michael
it comes
wears
with the
many
name.
hats. He's going to grace us with his
Grace,
presence.
yes.
We're going to have some dignitaries there. We're going to have food and drink specials throughout the weekend. We've had our beer and wine license. We're finally getting our liquor license in tomorrow, so people might be able to binge more than they have at the old Nuttin' To It. For those of you that don't know, we've renovated the old Nuttin' To It Express Cuisine. I've had the catering there for the past 5 years, and we actually opened up the storefront, the brick and mortar, just over 2 years ago. And it was more of a fast casual place. And what we did was, like you said, we want Yorktowners, we want people to come from out of Yorktown. We want people to come to Yorktown to see the beauty of it, see everything that Yorktown has to offer. And we would like to offer a nice modern bistro, an American type bistro. We've renovated the menu to really fit that kind of theme. Class it up a little bit.
And I've been in it. It's beautiful. Beautiful job of
Thank you.
renovating.
Yeah, tell everybody where it's located.
We're in the Cablevision.
Cablevision.
We're in the
Yeah.
Cablevision parking lot, right at the Four Corners. We share walls with Cablevision and Yorktown Pizza and Pasta.
Right.
And it's the old Nuttin' To It Cafe. The new name is Destination Cafe.
Bistro.
Destination Bistro. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't even know. The ink's still wet on the paper, so I don't even know what we're called yet. But it's a very exciting new adventure. Very, very exciting new venture. Friday we're gonna have the dignitaries. We're gonna have food and drink specials. Saturday we've got a band. 8:30 p.m. We're almost completely booked.
Really?
Standing room only.
The difference.
The difference. Yes, they're a wonderful band. Cover. They do a lot of classic rock, all acoustics. It's not gonna blow the walls.
Are there local people in the band, right? Would anybody here watching know the names? Or?
Trisha Palo, Joe Palo. Trisha's got just a beautiful voice. She was at we had a tasting menu tasting at the restaurant a couple weeks ago, and she did a wonderful job performing a lot of covers, a lot of some originals, and does a Zeppelin like a parody of a bunch of different Zeppelin songs.
Cool.
That
Wow.
The food took a little longer to get out that day because I got out of the kitchen. I wanted to listen to them, so I got out and I enjoyed her her rendition of Whole Lotta Love, and it was a bunch of different Zeppelin covers in there. She does a Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks.
Neat.
Oh, they're awesome. They're going on at 8:30. Like I said, all the seats are booked, so we got a dinner. We're going to be serving the full menu up until the show and through the show. They're there to 8:30. They're playing 3 hours. It's going to be a blast. So I welcome anybody coming from Yorktown or outside of Yorktown to come check it out. It's going to be wonderful. And then Sunday, all the local businesses around us are closed, so we kind of capitalize that. We're getting a bouncy castle.
For the parking lot?
For the parking lot, we're getting a bouncy castle. John Iorio of Fun Time Amusements in
Bounce.
town.
Yeah.
He's gonna Fun Time Amusements and Bounce.
Yeah.
He's gonna hook it up for us. So he's gonna get us a nice bouncy castle that before my 3-year-old daughter gets to jump in there, Michael and I and Bruce, you're welcome. We're gonna bounce around the castle for a little bit.
Taking photos and notes.
He'll be set up from 12 to 5 that day. We're open 12 to 7 on Sunday. So again, we got some food specials, some drink specials. We want everybody to come and check it out. The bar looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it does.
The dining room is stunning. Chris
Beautiful.
Shara,
It's a granite bar, isn't it?
it's a granite bar top.
Right.
There are. It's so funny. People come into the restaurant, and the first thing I lead them to is the bathroom. It's a gorgeous, gorgeously tiled bathroom. We've got a full mirror. Chris Shara of CS Construction did
Chris, when I
work.
stopped in last week, proudly showed me the restroom, and
that's the first thing we go for.
It reminded me actually of a Manhattan restroom when you go into those Manhattan
I tell you,
restaurants.
that's what we were going for.
That's no small matter in a restaurant.
No, you're right.
You know, you go into a place. If you go into a place to eat and you go to the bathrooms are, it's sort of like.
You're right.
Then you wonder what the kitchen looks
like.
like.
It becomes
That's exactly what it is.
It's really, it's funny how a good bathroom in a restaurant.
No, you're absolutely right. I've been like at restaurants in the city. When you go to some every once in a while, but not too often, a trendy restaurant, and you'll be with somebody or a couple of other people, and a guy will come back, man, you won't believe the rest, right?
That's
They'll
it.
say that.
You can judge a kitchen by the bathroom, and I've been in the restaurant industry my entire life, aside from a couple of years. You can judge a restaurant by the condition of their bathroom.
Well,
so
yeah.
we're very
Right.
proud, and by obviously the condition of their kitchen. I always welcome people into the kitchen, and people kind of look at me like, "What you want? I can go in your kitchen? Listen, there's no secrets. Come in the kitchen, no problem. Watch, you know." We're also gonna start featuring a chef's table over the next couple months. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna eat. So Chef Rob Del Balzo is gonna prepare a course that we're working locally with Hilltop Hanover Farm.
Great.
I'm gonna do anywhere between 5 to 8 courses, pair it up with some local beers, local wines, and I'm gonna use a local produce. Kind of with a locality theme. And we're gonna sell out just a table of 8, and you're gonna eat what I tell you to eat, and
It's farm to table in
farm
that
to
case.
table,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
And there's no place around here that does it, so we're hoping that to draw the Southern Westchester crowds, we're hoping to draw people from the city and make it a destination, and kind of like what Michael's been doing for the past 3 years is making Yorktown a destination, bring people to us.
Yeah, you know what,
Yep.
I really am extremely grateful for people like you that are in the town and decide to want to make that investment. And it's no small matter to make that investment and make the effort and everything else. But I really think it's for my role, I mean, it's always a try. I like showing up to these things, but I think it's such a great thing that you see people that really try to make the effort and the investment in the town, and that's really what we really, as far as local government's concerned, that's what we want to see. That's what we want to encourage as much as we possibly can, because Yorktown is a great place, and we want it to be a destination.
I've been here since '85. I grew up here, and my wife and I, my wife's a school teacher. We both graduated Yorktown. She teaches at Mohetsick. We're our kid growing up, and she's going to be in the same elementary school that I went to, Mohetsick Elementary, and we're so excited to bring the talents that we've learned and everything that we have to the town we grew up in. I mean, we're proud to be Yorktowners, and as I've always told you, Michael, we're proud to have you as our leader, because you've really brought a sense of wanting business and wanting to revive the old shells of stores that have been in Yorktown for the past 30 years that I've been here. So, again, I never miss an opportunity to thank you for all that you've done for Yorktown.
I appreciate that. I mean, it's the same for me. I mean, I've invested my time, blood, money, tears, whatever, sweat in this place too. I mean, just on the office across the street, and you go through all of this, and you want to. After you've done it, you hopefully have upped everybody else's game by doing it, and that's what you want to do. You want people to make the investment and make the improvements, because that spurs everybody else to say, hey, wait a second, now I got to up my game, and we're hoping that you're starting to set the bar that much higher for everybody else in town, because that's what you want them to do.
That's right. Taxpayers get to reap the benefits of that too, because the more we generate in revenue, the less they're going to have to pay in taxes.
Yeah,
so.
and that, that's the whole push for down here. And it's always one of the things. Again, I go back to what we were with the highway garage and everything. It's the whole push. I got to hear about the empty A&P or the Food Emporium. What was it? Yeah. But you can't, what can you do about it? What can I do? I can create an atmosphere that where businesses look, where something goes vacant and there are people all out there saying, look, something finally opened up in Yorktown for us to get in there, because that's where we want to be. But you got to, and a lot of it is and better than it's the ambiance, it's the atmosphere, it's. I can I can have the same steak but if I have it, in some back alleyway, or I have it overlooking the Mediterranean, it's going to taste a lot better overlooking the Mediterranean.
Don't they say that too, Rob? Too. I mean, we know you have great food and you're a great chef, but it is true, isn't it, in the restaurant business that one of the top factors that draw people to any place is the ambience, right?
I wish I knew that 2 years ago. That's
but that is sort of right.
That's something I've always approached it. I mean, I'm a very customer oriented guy. I'm the first guy that wants to. When you come into my place of business, I want to learn who you are. I want to know where you're from. I want to know what your likes and dislikes are. I'm going to remember what you eat and drink before I know what your name is. But that's something that Chris Shara of CS Construction, who came in and said, you know what, your food's too good for the ambiance, or your food's too good for the atmosphere. And I've noticed that all of a sudden, something that I was charging $10 for, we can charge $14 for, and people don't even look at it twice, because where you walk into the atmosphere and you feel like you're at home, and people have always liked our food, which I'm so grateful for Yorktown. but now they can actually take their dates into the place. And now they can actually sit down and enjoy at the bar, or sit at one of our beautiful tables, and just get to see the atmosphere and get to see everything that we've put together for you. That's why it's great to have feedback. And I'm always the kind of person, I want to hear negative feedback before I hear positive feedback.
That's how you get better, right?
You also had a couple of events over there with you can't be modest when you plug yourself. And you're also you cater
with the chefs,
to TV,
yeah,
you cater to NBA. NBA. What is it? The
VMAs. I catered the VMAs last year for Katy Perry.
Right, and you've also worked on the Food Network, right?
I have. I was on the show called The Kitchen. I was actually one of the talents on the show. It was such an honor. I've done backstage catering. Actually, we catered a movie.
Right. Well, the funny thing is, I've done in my brief and forgettable acting career. I've done two professional gigs. One was this movie with Jason Schwartzman.
That should be coming out really soon.
Listen Up, Philip,
Yeah,
which got great
really
buzz.
soon.
Right. So I was a background actor at Listen Up, Philip at Iona, and I walk into the set, and there is one of Rob's guys.
Yeah, Chris was there that day.
Chris was there, like, oh, wait. Like,
You recognize our food before you recognize
Right.
our staff. So
And then, like, a week or two ago, I do this crime reenactment show for the Discovery Channel, and I get the call sheet. The call sheet is when they send you the night before, in this case, what time to show up and stuff, and it says caterer, nothing to it. I go, I don't believe it.
It's always a blast. I mean, I've been deemed, they call me the caterer to the stars. I just finished up a job with Bobby Flay. It was a show called Beat Bobby Flay, and he competes against some average Joes, and they do the throwdown together, and it's they pick what food. So there was a ton of celebrities, and I don't really get starstruck, but there were a ton of celebrity Iron Chef Michael Simon was there. My friends from the kitchen, the show that I was on, Jeff Morrow, the Sandwich King, Jeffrey Zakarian, Sonny Anderson, they were all there. So it was cool to see them on the other side because, but I got to cook. We did omelets for them, so we do omelet station. So I'm the guy that you see movies, you see shows. I'm the guy that cooks for the man. So I never, until I did that little brief stint on Food Network, I never wanted to be on TV. I always wanted to cook for the man, but doing that show, I absolutely I got the bug. I'm actually they're working on a pilot for me right now it's going to be pitched to the Travel Channel or Discovery Channel, maybe Food Network, but they're working on a pilot for me right now, which I'm excited to do. And be able to plug Yorktown and the Destination Bistro as well. But that's what I've done in the catering. Nothing to It Catering still exists. It'll always be Nothing to It Catering, and we'll be the guy cooking for the Food Network, cooking for the movies and stuff like that.
And you had a guest chef there for a couple of
instances. Yes, and Malcolm will be here this weekend. Chef Malcolm Mitchell, Season 8 Food Network Star Finalist, will be here this weekend. Cool. He's actually coming up from Richmond, Virginia tomorrow.
Wow.
He's always got a place on my couch whenever he needs it, and he was actually on one of the shows that we catered. He surprised me, and he would not miss this for the world. He loves Yorktown. He loves being here. We did 2 pop-up restaurants with him, which were phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
Sold out.
Sold out both nights. Yeah. And Malcolm will be here. He's going to be helping me chop it up in the kitchen on Friday, Saturday afternoon. He's got a previous commitment. He was supposed to be here through Sunday, but when he found out that I was opening the restaurant, the bistro, he jumped right on it. He could not wait to help me, and he's actually in the process of opening up his place in Richmond, Virginia as well, where I in turn told him, I said, listen, anything you need from me, I'm happy to go down there. But Chef Mitchell will be here all day Friday and part of the day Saturday, and excited to see his fans from Yorktown and from all over to come check him out. Really nice guy, and he's a really good friend of mine. But
That's great.
Again, Yorktown welcomed with open arms. 2 times he's been here in the past couple of years.
I went to.
You went to both of them.
Yeah,
you were both
it was
dinners.
great. And you just sit there and you say, when you had, what do you call them?
Pop-up restaurants.
Yeah. And you sit there and say, but this is what, this is what Yorktown needs on a consistent basis. I mean, there's some, Murphy's did a wine tasting, every once in a while. I don't know, they stopped doing it. They haven't done it in a while or anything. But, it's just raising that, because, Yorktown should be, you want people to think of Yorktown and say, if I want to go out and go to a restaurant, I want to go to Yorktown Heights because it's got this one, and that one, and we can take our we have choices and all good, really good choices. And that's what you want. You want people to, to show up here. And hopefully stand out online and you have that, to want to get in, and that's what you want.
Sure hope so. I mean, when I was putting the place together, it was, I didn't know where the heck to eat. You could throw a rock and hit 12 different Italian places around us, and hey, listen, Italian food's great, pizza's great, but how
you
much
want variety?
Yeah.
You want variety.
Chinese, the same thing. You know.
But the thing is, what I think of talking about this, and what you're doing, Rob, is Peekskill. Right? People from Yorktown and all around here, including me, go to Peekskill. You want to, we've done that, right? You want to go there and listen to music and have a nice meal, and so it used to be in Yorktown. There were a number of places that had music at night or on weekends, and I guess they didn't get enough of a crowd, and they stopped doing it. But how often are you going to have music there?
We're gonna let the crowd dictate it. I would love to have music every couple weeks, every month. And if we can if people are coming to see the music and eat our food, hell, we'll do it all the time. We'll do it every week if we can. I mean, we want to offer the variety. We want to be able to, we don't want to drown anybody out because it's still a small location.
Yeah.
We'll do we were talking about doing like grand piano. You get a piano guy in there, keyboards, acoustic, nothing with drums, nothing loud or crash or anything like that. We're gonna, if we can get some nice light music. Man, I would do it as much as Yorktown wants.
I'm going to say, I mean, we're starting. I think the demographics in Yorktown are changing a little bit too, and which is, but and it still is a very family-oriented place. So, Chinese restaurants and pizza places do well because
everybody
Friday
wants
night,
to go
family,
there.
they put something together for everybody. But for the crowd that the crowd, the adult crowd that wants to go out, you want to provide places for them to go.
Absolutely.
And Yorktown's starting to get it. I mean, you've got Tom Costello's place, which is on Time.
Excellent.
Great place. You got the winery, which is also provides another
beautiful
whole
ambiance there.
Sophia's is another one.
Sophia's great.
And it's
Tom Tomaso's does a great job too. I know Tommy
Cuomo,
for a long time.
And I think it's not to necessarily plug all your competition, but I think that's the important thing to do.
I don't look at him as competition whatsoever. Not at all.
Exactly.
Like, I need a place to eat too. Can't eat my food all the time.
But it's exactly what we want to do is we want to put all these places on the map. So that what happens is the hope is we're still working on getting the movie at the YCC on a weekly basis. Yep. To try to create some, so that Yorktown has some, has some, you have a place to go that you can be entertained, you can get a really good meal, and have your choices of where you want to get a really good meal. And certainly we have our choices of where you want to get ice cream afterwards. So I mean,
there's a couple ice cream spots around.
But that's it. It's the Trailhouse Cafe. Finally, it was great to see that they put chairs finally outside, and I went by there. I said, this is what you need. You want to see people out there. You want to see people out, and I want to see people out in front of Starbucks.
The two places that come to mind talking about this, which reinforce the notion. Some people, sort of don't get this. When people will talk about, don't put this big box store next to that one because then it'll compete. People want to go where there are a lot of the same types of
choices.
In Peekskill, there's Restaurant Row. I was there this morning for the other cable show. You walk down Division Street, right? You have 12 Grapes and Division Street Grill next to each other. You have the Quiet Man and Rubens. Then around the corner you have Gleason's, and the Sister Restaurant.
And like any other place in Yorktown,
Birds All In.
If
the same owner.
If I run out of, let's say, flour. Tommy at Tomaso's or Tommy
you'll walk over there.
Those guys, hey, whatever you need, chicken. We're on like 911. Hey, I need beer. I need this. I need that. And those guys, they're not looking at me as competition. I don't look at them as competition.
No,
I want everybody to thrive.
And that's but to your point, that's exactly what we need.
Brings us back to Costco. I mean, listen, I'm a biggest advocate of Costco. I would love to see people come here.
And the other thing with those people that are opponents to it are just they don't they say Costco is going to be this big black hole that's going to suck the life out of it. It's absolutely right.
It's the opposite.
Makes it a destination.
Right.
And the thing is that what you want to do is you got to that it's well zoned for it. It's well located for it. So you get people to come in to that portion of Yorktown. But then you want them to sit there and say, well, I'm in Costco, and I'm going to, I'll go there at 4 or 5 o'clock, bang out my shopping, and then I'll run 2 miles down the street into Yorktown Heights, which is going to have, it's got just, one great restaurant after the other that I can go to, or I can, you want them to, you want to start putting Yorktown on the map so people will trickle into town and start to, feed our small business, and they will.
And the other analogy, we were just there Friday night, Elise and I, Tarrytown. You walk down Main Street in Tarrytown, where Tarrytown Music Hall is, and I hadn't been there in a while. There must be 7 or 8 restaurants within a couple of blocks, we did it, and you see people doing it. They'll walk along, just looking at each one and decide where they want to eat.
Right, and
that's what people do.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And I think once you start connecting these 2 parks, because they're disjointed at this point with the highway garage, now you get rid of that. You're going to create a little bit of Keir Street's should develop, which is a really a nice spot for a bunch of, but it's going to bring people into town.
Absolutely.
And that's the most important thing. And then you know what? Then everybody, then you're on your own merits. As you excite everybody's palate, and you create the ambience, and you give them a good place to go to the bathroom, and
best bathroom in Yorktown.
And but I mean, it's really what it comes down to. And the thing is you don't want to go through. I hate to see someone go through kind of your sweat, your investment, your hard work, and be disappointed because the town decides to let the you don't want I want you to be a jewel with a lot of jewels, not so
not a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
When we first got there, Joe from Pizza and Pasta, people were like, "Oh, you're gonna have competition," and he's like, "This isn't competition. It's somebody else to play in the sandbox with. Are you kidding?" He carried my menus. We allow if you have a family of 4, kids want pizza, and then the parents want a nice burger or a nice steak or something. So they'll go and the kids will go get the pizza and they'll eat in my spot, or they'll get the steak and they'll eat at Joe's spot. So we absolutely love to cohabitate and commingle and kind of satisfy everybody. We're not going to ever sell pizza. He's never going to sell pulled pork. So we're not competition. Your town businesses should always stand up together.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing. The whole concept of a shopping mall is you have all these stores together. And some of them compete, but they feed each other, right?
Well,
That's what they do, right?
The marketing plan for the mall is to put in as many restaurants as they can.
Sure, I remember Brannigan's back in the day. That place was awesome.
They want they don't want they want as many as they can get in because that's what people like. They get your choice, and it's really important to create and it's the same thing as that steak tastes better in a different in a different ambiance, and I think what happens is Yorktown's just better in a better so it's just really starting to. It's not redeveloping Yorktown. It's just revitalizing it, which is a little bit different. Right. Trying to get the crap out of you. Get the ugliness out of the Heights area. Start letting people do what they think is the best thing for their property. Revitalize it, because I think if the town sends out this signal that we want your investment. We want your hard work. We want you to make a go of it. Not only, and we want you to be successful.
And stop spending your money elsewhere. Spend it in Yorktown. That's it. Spend it in Yorktown. I don't care where it is, but you spend it here. We're all gonna thrive. We'll all flourish. So we'll all be better off. Spend your dollars here.
Yeah.
And get people from out of town to come in here.
We want their money too.
Yeah, that's right.
Bring it in.
I also want to mention, at the beginning of the show, we referred to the calendar of events that we like to showcase. And I noticed on the, by the way, beautiful new town website. The website looks really good.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it looks really good.
And I'm going to tell you, we got another surprise coming in that regard. We've signed a tentative agreement with a company called CGI.
Right.
And what they're doing is come this August and September, they're going to go around and they're going to send a professional film crew into Yorktown, and we're going to film Yorktown and really show Yorktown to be what it really is at its highlights. And they are going to have this film will be part of the Yorktown website. So it would be a major promotion for the town.
Love it.
In terms of what Yorktown has to offer. And a lot of people that even live in Yorktown don't know what Yorktown has to offer.
Yep.
So this one is going to try to bring that out and really highlight. And we're hoping it will also start to get the notice of a business investment, in the business
Right.
community to start to invest in Yorktown. And then what they do is they'll also, with that, they'll also create for local businesses, you can also do your video for your own business and go on to link to that website. So
Right.
and they'll also create a page with video, which they'll do as well for the charitable and not-for-profits. So it's
Right,
perfect.
no, he
for,
contacted me, yeah.
Right, so
About
it's perfect
United,
for
yeah,
you.
we're going to do that.
So everything will be on display there, but and I guess they probably make their money back by getting the advertising.
commercial part of it,
the
yeah,
commercial
right,
part of it.
right.
But what they do is you do 30-second clips
Right.
on your particular business. So and it's a really they've contacted us to give them a list of the local businesses.
great.
But you'll
Yeah.
see it, and it really, so the website was complete because that web page.
Yeah.
When I first turn on my computer in the morning here, I always the first page it comes up to is the Yorktown web page, and I'm always like,
I know, right, I know,
but
right, right.
I
right.
said, there's got to be, I mean, it's just, and look, I mean, I shouldn't be so harsh because people worked very hard to get it up and running, and they did a great job. But it's
Yeah, now it looks,
major
it's
improvement,
much more dynamic
major
now, yeah,
improvement,
yeah.
and
That's great.
Right.
yeah, and so this is really going to be the next step in it. So, but it's all these things, is to try to, we really, when I came in here, we one of the things that we, even for the mall, because we wanted to get the mall to really, to
Step
do
up,
something,
yeah,
step
right.
up. And, they came to us and said, one of the issues that they're having is just getting tenants. I mean, that's the whole, you got to make a major investment in renovating the mall unless you're getting tenants. So, the idea was to create a promotional video for Yorktown so that, we can do it. And we say, look, we'll if you want me to come, I'll do it. I'll come out, if you want to, I'll pitch to whoever who you're looking to, your tenant base or whatever you're looking, I'll start pitching Yorktown. Because, it's part of what I think we need to do. And because there's so much, again, this Yorktown has such unique qualities, and one of them, and I always say this, and you get tired probably, is its exceptionalism.
Yeah.
Yorktown really it is still a very tight community, a very charitable, very giving people who are very community conscious, and and part of that Yorktown mentality is to want to patronize local businesses. I mean, you talk to Yorktowners, they are very conscious about saying, look, I want to spend give me the opportunity
Right.
to spend my money
here,
in Yorktown, to Yorktown people, Yorktown businesses, and I'll be more than glad to do it and even spend more money to it. And, one of the great examples of that's Mitchell's Hardware.
Yes.
Was Home Depot going to suck out the life out of? No, Mitchell's, because everybody, Mitchell's, they're friendly guys. You know them, you talk to them.
Yeah, absolutely,
It's like the old hardware store. You can go in there. It's just a great place, and you don't care what you're spending, and you're not price shopping, between Mitchell's and Home Depot. You're going to Mitchell's because it's part of, I think, what Yorktown is understanding.
It's customer service.
It's
That's
customer
what it
service.
is,
You go
yeah.
for the people.
Yeah, exactly.
Home Depot
Right.
will never be able to rival that.
Yeah.
No way.
That's for sure.
And so yeah.
I just
being
was
nice.
there, so
That's being
I
nice.
have a fresh experience.
Yeah, but it's so that's it, and I think Yorktowners do, really have that social consciousness of saying,
Sure.
I want to go, and so you just give them a place, give them the destination to go to.
Love it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
The place that provides them the service, the friendly face, who knows what they want to eat before you know what their name is.
That's
and,
it. Michael wants to come in and have his mac and cheese. I know that. Sorry for not bringing
Speaking
it
of
today
which,
for
I'm
you.
still waiting for the Brewster Block feta and cheese breakfast sandwich, Rob.
And you've got an open invitation.
I'll be-
We'll make it special for you every
But
time.
you still have the mac and cheese.
We have the Matt. Are you kidding? I don't want any fines to start coming my way.
Yeah, right.
All of a sudden, I'm breaking some codes because I don't have Michael's mac and cheese.
No, that was I think that was a different administration. Anyhow, on July 17th, if you're seeing the show before, or even on July 17th, on the town website community calendar, the Hudson Valley Honor Flight Evening of Honor
Yeah,
Which I was going to say, Judge Lagonia has to somehow be involved with that, because he's an aviator and he's a lawyer for aviators, and that looks really interesting. It's to honor veterans, right? That's what it says, honoring American veterans. So that's Thursday night, July 17th, 6 to 8 p.m.
at Murphy's, right?
At, something, the location is, I'm looking at the event on the website.
I think it's at
Murphy's Restaurant, yes. Now, I had to scroll down to see that it is at Murphy's Restaurant, and I don't think anybody has to be told where that is. That's a landmark in Yorktown. And then Friday, Rob mentioned your partnership with Hilltop Hanover Farm. Friday night at 5 p.m., there's a couples cooking event at Hilltop Hanover, and they do a great job.
They do. I actually
that's one of the gems of Yorktown, isn't it?
Awesome.
Right?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
going to
awesome.
tell you, we have a committee that we're going down the list of what what to put on the video about Yorktown.
They're great. They're great.
And you go through the different. I mean, Yorktown, and I'm going to tell you, people just don't are completely unaware of what's out there, and which is a real shame. And I don't know why that is, but we're trying to correct it. We're trying to make it.
That's that's that couples cooking class. I taught the class back in September, and it sold out in minutes.
Yeah.
It sold out like that. I mean, there's only, I think it's 12 or 13 couples, but I mean, it sold out within, I think it was 2 or 3 days. Once they listed on the website, it just sold out like that. And Hilltop Hanover, they're great people. They're just, they're wonderful. And not enough people know about them. Yep. They have these beautiful baskets of like fresh grown veggies, and it's really inexpensive for what you're getting. There's no pesticides. Everything's organic. You know where it's coming from. It doesn't have to ship from Mexico, so they're not putting preservatives on it. Their food is outstanding, and they have such a great product. And they actually told all their members about our grand opening, and they're a very big supporter. They keep trying to get me to do more stuff with them. We're gonna do some more themed events with them, but I think they're wonderful people, and I strongly support them.
Yeah.
Strongly support them.
But that's again, it's a testament to what I call Yorktown exceptionalism. It's exactly what it is. You got people. That's that whole community-minded spirit of you're not in competition, but you're all in together in partnership and creating a better town. And that's the important thing, and that's is a major attraction of this town. When somebody says, "Well, what is it about Yorktown?" And it's the sense of community, and Yorktown is exceptionally strong.
Oh yeah.
You got other places, even like another place that people forget about too is Larry and Ann's
Mohansic Grill up at Mohansic Golf Course. Yeah, and they've done a fantastic job. They really have. In a lot of ways with their music and the events, and they run these golf and dine specials that are very
but they have
affordable.
They have their summer barbecues.
Yeah,
right?
the barbecues,
summer
barbecues.
Entertainment up there.
Yeah.
So
they're doing a good job
great
too.
job,
Yeah, right. And speaking of music, that's going to be at Destination Bistro, Mohansic Grill, and the winery. The Lions Club concerts we mentioned that this Sunday, the 19th at 6 p.m. is going to be Jukebox Explosion.
Is it this Sunday? I thought they had one last Sunday. Is it,
well, according to this, it says...
All right, maybe 2 weeks in a row, okay.
It's a lot of explosions.
No, usually it is every other week, isn't it? Now, unless I misspoke, I could tell you when... you're right and I'm wrong. It's July 27th.
There you go.
That's why you're the supervisor and I'm just sitting here. Anyhow...
lying to the...
right. No, so you're right. It's every other Sunday. So Jukebox Explosion 60s Tribute at 6 p.m. And that reminds me that we are exactly 1 month away from, and like it pains me to say this because I was there, but the 50th anniversary. I'm wrong. It's the 45th anniversary of Woodstock. We're exactly 1 month away from that. It was 1969, and it's 2014, right? Yep. So in 5 years, it will be the 50th anniversary. I still think I have mud on my pants from sitting in the...
Well, we're not going to ask too many questions.
Yeah, no.
So.
Haven't washed up since then, 45 years.
That's good because I won't answer them.
You probably couldn't answer them, could you?
Right. I was going to say sitting in Max Yasgur's farm.
But the winery it's
cow pasture. That was the word I was looking for.
It's the Woodstock was August 14th, 15th, and 16th.
I think it was 15, 16, 17. That's what I'm saying. We're exactly a month away.
It falls on a weekend again.
It was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I drove up Friday night.
Yeah, and I think the winery's doing a tribute.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
the winery's doing a Woodstock, a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, I think you have arts.
They're doing,
arts exhibits.
Right, arts and
crafts.
crafts. And, right.
You're not allowed to shower for 3 days either.
That's about right, too.
Continual music, and they have the Back to the Garden band, which is it does a lot of the Woodstock. It's a Woodstock cover band.
How cool.
Excellent. But they do that Santana song unbelievably.
Yeah, Come Va.
Yeah, Come Va. Yeah, right. They were at Woodstock Santana. Right.
They do a lot of Crosby, Stills, and they do.
Well, I mean, Janis Joplin, Sly, The
Hendrix,
Who,
too.
Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, man. Show me a Jimmy cover and
Jefferson Airplane was there. Yeah, I mean, it was unbelievable.
That's great.
But they do. This band's are really. I think they're playing maybe 2 out of the 3 nights up there.
Probably Friday and Saturday, because that's what they've been doing, right? They've been having music Friday.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, you can go check their website, but they're doing this Woodstock tribute,
right,
through those 3 days because it's on the weekend, and I know I think they've got music lined up all day long I think they're doing an outside barbecue. They're doing all sorts of things with outside music. But they do have this Woodstock cover band, which is called Back to the Garden, which is a very good, a very good band.
Is one band covering all those bands?
Yeah, they're
awesome. That's talent.
Yeah, they played that. I always, I mean I'm a big fan of the winery because I think it's a very unique business in Yorktown.
Beautiful inside too.
Gorgeous physical.
And now he has the nice patio out back.
Right.
He has a nice patio with tables.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
And he's got, he brings in some incredible talent. He really, really does. He had the guy from Hall & Oates.
The guy who played.
He was the guitarist.
I was there
with
that
night.
Yeah.
I saw there. He was phenomenal.
Yeah.
He was
So
phenomenal.
the level of talent that shows up at the winery is.
And he's going to have the
absolutely
Kiss
remarkable.
tribute, right? He's going to
really?
have a Kiss tribute.
And then he's doing Tommy, the opera.
Tommy, right? Yeah.
But he's really, and again, it's the idea. And I'm always scratch my head as to why he went through so much grief to get himself open. But that was. And that was the typical thing here for years.
I could tell you a thing or two about getting open.
Yeah.
Well, we still have some time.
How much time we got?
No, but we want. I mean,
I just think about the ratings.
The whole idea was to get, start cutting through this stuff because we really need we want to see businesses thrive.
Not all of you do.
No. We're starting to.
All of him does.
Yeah, all of Michael
him does, right? And all of I.
That's for sure.
We try to.
Everybody in your office does. That's for sure. Yeah.
We've tried to change the culture, but I'm going to tell you, it is remarkable. I mean, there are. You don't even want to get me started, but I mean, there are people out there that just want to stop everything, and it's really interesting. When you're involved in the politics, they write half-truths, and it always just drives me crazy. And I'm thinking, do I have to respond every time? I don't want to. We had the Spectra Energy thing, and we had this energy company willing to give us, basically almost a $2 to $3 million public improvement that we need very badly, which is ball fields for nothing. And there's all this hyperbole about radon, and without any factual basis. Anyhow. So the whole thing went dead. But one of the interesting things was we got criticism because we had started discussing this at a regular town board meeting, and one of the councilmen got up, got agitated and left the meeting. And I only got 4 members anyhow, and the other one board member wasn't there. So when Patel leaves, I'm down to 2 board members, myself and Terrence. And we can't conduct any official business. We could not even close the meeting.
Right.
So the meeting's still going on.
The meeting's still open.
Marathon.
So I tell them, well, I got to finish up the business of that meeting, and I got to close the meeting. I do something because I call a special meeting. So I go back to all the board members and say, we got to close this thing up. And I go back to them and say, when are you available? So looking at all their schedules, it ended up being at 4:00 in the afternoon on the following Wednesday, because somebody had this and somebody had that, because it wasn't a regular meeting night for the next week, but we had to finish this thing up. So what appears in the paper? Grace calls a meeting at 4:00 in the afternoon to prevent everybody from coming over to speak about the And it's like,
There it is, yep.
You know, are you kidding me?
Three
And
sides
these are
to every
people,
story, yep.
and this is people, and these are people that they write these articles that are in contact with the one board member that left,
Right.
and the other board member that wasn't there. And so they know very well why the meeting was at 4 o'clock was to accommodate these two knuckleheads, and not because, you know, I wanted to thwart public discussion and debate. But this is the kind of stuff that you put up with, and it's just it's really remarkable. There's a letter in the Northern Westchester Examiner written by Susan Siegel, who's now running for town board, who decides to say, what's the matter with Grace is going to go out on bond, and he's not telling us how much it's going to cost. And he's been trying to do this for 3 years or 2 years or whatever, and he's not blah, 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 blah. And yeah, she knows that I've been trying to do it. And the two board members that have put the bond proposals in front of for the last couple of years won't talk to me about, let's move ahead on it. And so it's like you blame me for the intransigence of the other two board members. And if they don't know what's been in front of them for the last 2 years of what needs to be done, there's a lot of capital improvements that need to be done in the town. And we don't have and capital improvements, you don't want to, it's unfair to the present taxpayer to pay the full freight for a public improvement that's going to last 20 years, because I might not be here for 20 years. So why am I paying for an improvement I'm not going to be enjoying?
We're expecting you here for the next 20 years. I hope you understand that.
So that's how you bond. You bond things based upon their useful life and their utility to the taxpayer. So I'm not paying for every future taxpayer's expense. The future taxpayer pays for it as they use it, which is exactly how you do things. But you get this, and this is written by a letter written by someone who actually sat as supervisor for 2 years. And I'm reading it and I'm thinking, no wonder she didn't get it. She doesn't have a clue as to what, how the idea of municipal financing, especially when it comes to public improvements, because there's this whole, it used to be, I'm bore you all, but public improvement districts couldn't carry surpluses because you had to pay you had to bond, and because you had to bond, that was the only equitable way of doing it. And now you can, but if you do, it's only for very particular reasons. They were sitting there spending surpluses on things that they should have been bonding, and it's just I don't know, but it's like you're constantly embattled by these half-truths, and it just gets frustrating, and you're just trying to get everybody on the same page, because we're all hopefully, should be working towards the same thing, which is a better Yorktown, and we're trying to push hard.
The same goal.
We're all pushing hard, and I get frustrated because I when I did come in here, I saw the red tape and the lack of accommodations for people. I had a guy looking to open up a tea and scone store in Mohegan.
Oh, Mike, yeah.
Yeah, really nice guy.
Really nice guy.
And you can't hold the guy up for 3 months. He's paying rent for 3-4 months before he sold the scone. Because we're holding up. I said, you can't do this.
Yeah, I was going to say, look who you're talking to.
I had 18 months of that, so.
You can't.
Wow.
Yeah.
The whole point is
we're going through it again, so.
And you can't do that, because the whole idea, you can't be oblivious to the fact that, once I open that store and I gotta sell scones, I gotta sell enough scones to pay that month's rent. But
and
now I gotta
everything in
pay
the
back.
past, yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that. And they all think, well, you open up a business, you got money. No. And this isn't some, out of state, alien, investor. These are Yorktowners.
Yeah.
Most of the time, people that are opening up small business in Yorktown are Yorktowners.
I know for a fact that Mike was actually, his father passed, and it was his father's dream to have a tea and scone shop. And Mike took his father's inheritance, and he wanted to make his dad proud. And that's essentially how I did it. My mom passed, and I took her inheritance, and I worked my butt off for years and years and years before I could open up the store and put the brick and mortar up in Yorktown. I was in business 2.5 years before I even thought about putting that brick and mortar up, and I worked my butt off for it, and I used that money plus some of the investment money, and that's how I, fought through red tape. And without you, Michael, I'd still be fighting. And I opened up my shop 2 years ago, so that would have been 3.5 years of fighting, fighting these people.
Because it drives me. I went through it with the town when I was redoing my office. At a dilapidated old house sitting across the street, which one time somebody wanted to put a car wash up there. And it was zoned for a car wash, my office building.
Over there,
Yeah.
a car wash?
That's what they wanted to do.
Why not?
Right.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
get it, and, all I want to do is renovate the old building and open it for professional offices. It took me a year and a half to get through the planning process.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there going, guys, do you understand? I am paying, it was paying rent in an office while I was paying the mortgage in this place, while I was paying to rehabilitate. I can't
Nope.
wait for you to
Nope.
make up your mind. And what they eventually did was, the plan that I came in with the first time around, because I thought of everything, it's my piece of property, I knew what I wanted to do, I knew it would fit best, everything else. Well, no, they wanted to see this plan, that plan, that plan. After a year and a half, they finally came back to the original plan that they gave in the first place. And I said, yeah, because I went through all this. And it always drove me crazy to think that you cannot do that because people don't have the wherewithal to float the physical plant, carry the real estate while other people are trying to make up their mind as to what they do and when I'll get around to review it and everything else. You can't do that to people.
So many people go out. What about that place? Wasn't that place that replaced Carvel? They were fighting the town, and I know they only had enough to sustain them for, I think they were only for 6 weeks or something. And I just got really lucky that we had a very strong back business, or else I would have been one of those stories where, we had a very strong catering. We were doing a lot out the back door, and we were selling more to New York City, more jobs in New York City than it was to Yorktown. And because of this red tape, it was such a struggle to open up that if we based our business on Yorktown traffic alone, we would have been sunk before we ever opened our doors. Yeah. And that's not what I know that's not what you want. I know that's not what Yorktown should want. And Yorktown taxpayers want places to spend money.
Yeah,
and they want to have, nobody wants to have to travel to the city or to White Plains or to Peekskill to get something that they should be able to get in the town that they pay plenty of taxes to enjoy.
Right. And it's inexcusable for the town not to work as diligently as the guy that's looking to invest to make sure that you get yourself open.
I couldn't agree with you more.
And that's what you're there for. And that's not changing the character of Yorktown. That's not turning Yorktown into some urban.
Who wants a bunch of empty stores? Look at that! Look at that parking lot. I mean, how many empty stores are there? And how many empty stores have been filled with in the past 3 years?
Yeah, it was funny when we changed the parking regulations. I said, so watch out, you're not going to have enough parking in Yorktown. I said,
come on.
That should be
come on.
That should be our problem.
I'm waiting for the
that
day
should be the problem.
when everybody's if I've got everybody looking, circulating, Yorktown Heights for a parking space. That's a good day. That's
Right.
a day.
Are you kidding?
That's a day you got. That's the day you want.
That means you're creating a destination.
Right. Yeah. To tell me when I start getting the phone calls, Mr. Grace, I can't find a parking space.
Great.
There you go.
That's great.
We got to where we wanted to be.
That's the day I open a parking garage.
That's it.
Right.
But it's you have to I've tried very hard to, and I think the staff has responded. I mean, I think the Yorktown staff, and that means that your permitting staff, is starting to respond. Understand the sensitivity of, look, you got to get these things moving. You got to get the reviews done. You got to get the stuff out the door. You can't, if you're going to give a punch list, give a one punch list. Don't go to punch list. You can't do that. You got to move these things along. And I think I think the building department has responded very well. I think they work are starting to work very well with people, and that's is an important thing. And the town board. I mean, we've had our successes in that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We got them all done.
Right.
And we got them all done because we changed the parking regulations 8 months before they came in with an application. So when they came with the application fit, and we could move ahead on it. And that was 6 weeks. That's 4 weeks that we got them approved. And they're, for everybody's information, they have filed for their building permits, so hopefully they'll start breaking ground fairly soon. Costco.
For JB Mall.
Yeah. Costco has filed, they completed the final environmental impact statement. That was filed on Monday, so they're moving ahead on that. So that ought to be
great.
Yeah. So people, everybody asks me, Costco.
And by the way, it's a pleasure now driving along the 202 commercial corridor, and not sitting in traffic. And the traffic flows
It moves
very freely now. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, so Costco is going to even make a better improvement, because that improvements that you see now are going to now go all the way to Strang. So that's going to make a major, so that'll be a major improvement. So we're getting there, you know, just, and really is despite a lot of headwind, you know, trying to slow this whole thing down, and that you know, my opponents out there have been, you know, are doing it, and I hope Yorktown is paying attention. And you know, there's a big election coming up this fall, and I hope they pay attention when it comes this fall as to who they should vote for to, you know, keep us going in that right
for the
direction.
5th board seat. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's a huge difference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
it's going to be,
yeah.
and you know, it really is. I mean, we you know, the first 2 years I was here, I think we really did a bang-up job changing the atmosphere, changing the attitude of what Yorktown is, and moving things forward. And it was to the chagrin of a certain amount of people, and they have gained, you know, their headwind is there now because I'm down to a split board. And
Right.
so, you know,
Okay.
but.
Yeah, so we have to wrap it up, and I'm now going to predict the headline in one of the newspapers next week, your favorite newspaper, and that would be Supervisor Grace wants to turn Yorktown into a 24/7 Woodstock festival. and which I would say, you got that right. Peace, love, and music.
Yeah, dude.
No, I know. Look, you know, you always got to be careful what you say, but you know.
I just thought I'd get ahead of the news. That's all. Anyhow, we want to thank Rob Del Balzo of Nothing
Thanks for
to
having
It
me.
Caterers.
Thanks for having me.
I can't wait for my next shoot when I see you or one of you guys at the craft table, serving your great food, and the new Destination Bistro opening July 18th.
Yeah.
Oh, you open now, right?
The
Grand opening
on
I
the
should say.
18th and 19th.
And
Yeah,
that's
so definitely
located again at the by the Cablevision building in Yorktown, Pizza and Pasta.
Right at the crossroads of Yorktown
18,
Heights.
yeah,
Yeah,
118
we
Triangle
have
Center.
a brand new staff led by Jackie Boofy. She came over from the old
Crystal Bay.
Crystal
yeah,
Bay.
right.
She's taken over the front of the house, brought in some great waiters, bartenders. I've got my original cooking crew, my back of the house staff, and like I said, Chris Shara came and did all the construction of CS Construction. So it's a very local movement, and we're happy to serve Yorktown, and we're thrilled to see everybody who comes out this weekend.
Yeah, that's great. So as we say in my avocation, break a leg. Of course, in your case, it would be a turkey leg or a chicken leg or something like that. So,
Yeah, I've been there before.
right. Thank you for watching Grace Notes with Town of Yorktown Supervisor Michael Grace. I'm Bruce Apar of Chase Media Group. Be sure to watch us next time and every time because Yorktown is your town. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Great, man. Thanks for having me.